Good morning, friends. We're out in the garden together this morning, and I have not had you guys out here really at all. Since we basically, I think the last time you were out here with us was when I planted the garden in that rush before Memorial Day. And to be honest with you, that's nearly the last time I've been in the garden. I've been in here a few times to pick flowers. I've been on the edge of the garden in my herb bed to collect herbs. And I'm going to show you why a little bit, but we're going to turn a really, really sad story into a positive, really, really positive story. So remember why I did Ruth Stout. It was because I was so defeated the last 2 years with weeds. And I was like, I've got to get back to what worked for me and stop all the nonsense trials I was doing. And Ruth Stout worked so well for me with suppressing the weed pressure in my garden, like so well. And so I'm going to show you an update on the garden today, and you guys are going to be gobsmacked for the results. And I need to get over it as well and just take you guys with me, and let's get some work done in the garden today. It's supposed to rain all weekend. There's lots of reasons I haven't been out here. One was I was seeing what was happening and I was feeling defeated again. And then, not to be an extremist or anything, but it's not all bad news. And then just not making it a priority. I'm super busy with grandkid duties and just other life responsibilities, helping friends out, traveling as more of a priority for us these days. So my garden needs to be kind of a set it and kind of forget it type thing, and then come back and harvest. That's what I need it to be in my life at this stage. And I've watered it. I've fertilized the onions once. So anyway, it's just not that huge of a priority right now, but it should be. Next year, I'm hoping it'll be grand. So I'm going to turn you guys around, and we're just going to walk around, and then I'm going to talk to you guys. Okay, so I'm getting up. Clearly, I don't know why this is in here. I had seeds in it. Clearly, Ruth Stout, I didn't plant in this bed at all. So there's a walnut and a few tiny patches of creeping Charlie in here. I see a maple tree too popping up. So I need to pull those two little volunteer trees and these couple patches of creeping Charlie. But if you guys remember, this bed was massively inundated with creeping Charlie. We flame weeded it a few times and put on the old hay, and this is like 1 year old hay by the time we put it down, so it's not fresh hay. You're not going to see any hay weeds sprouting after 2 months basically. But what's happening is the weeds in the pathways. So let's walk all the way down, walk around the sunflower. So this spot where it is not weeds, chop and drop basically from the onion bed. I don't think the onions are gonna do much of nothing this year. I might get little small baseball onions, but this was happening in the onion bed because the onion bed was not Ruth Stouted. I'm gonna show you some of the beds that have been Ruth Stouted. So no chop and drop, no weeds. And then I basically can barely walk through. I mean, I'm going to be walking through weeds. So what we didn't do this year that we should have done too is I just didn't have enough cardboard, is when I did the Ruth Stout beds, I should have came and cardboarded the pathways and did new wood chips. Now, what the Ruth Stout is not totally working on is that thistle. So I got out here, this is potatoes, so I got potatoes here. Potatoes just flowering. But you're gonna see thistle. And what I noticed is anywhere there was a small crack in the cardboard, the thistle was coming. So I think, but like where it's in, and the straw wasn't obviously as thick. Where the straw is super thick, no thistle weed. So what I think I'm gonna do is cut that back and move some of the straw on. And I wish, or hay, I keep saying straw, I mean hay. I wish I had more old hay just on standby that I could add, because that's what Ruth would have done. My sweet potatoes, I'm just noticing, this is the first time I've been in here, have been eaten. Look at that. Somebody ate all the leaves off the sweet potato plants. Here's another one. It's dead. Like, interesting. I don't know what would have done that. If there's a rabbit in here? Okay, but look at this space. Great. Obviously, lots and lots of, here's one other sweet potato. Just barely hanging on. Oh no, that's a bean. That's a bean coming up. So we'll just keep walking around. This is the back path. Ruth Stout bed. Clearly thistle, it's not working on. This is a tomato and basil row, and I have like 3 or 4 thistle plants in here, but otherwise no other weeds. Okay, let's move on. I need to get out here and stake these tomatoes. Oh, look at those beauties. Okay, so this is the other tomato and pepper row with basil, and I am seeing a couple thistle. So not too bad though, overall, like really, really good. Let me bring you guys down here where you can see like no weeds at all. So it's just that thistle that can pressure its way through any crack. One other thing I did make time for this year, and it's really funny to look at, is this is my carrot and dill bed, and obviously volunteer kale. So carrots, I had time that I thinned and weeded this section because this is not Ruth Stout either. But this half of the bed, I did not get done. You see there's carrots in here. But so not weeded. Anyway, so we're just gonna keep walking around. This bed here was not Ruth Stouted. Why? Let me remind myself why. I had already transplanted all these glorious sunflowers that were volunteers, and I didn't want to lose those. So basically what this is I need to come in here and weed this because I'm always going to forget the name of this weed. It's really beautiful, but it is taking over this bed, and I've got pumpkins in here. So pumpkins, and then we've got our beautiful borage, sea of borage, and our sunflowers. So, okay, let's come up here. We're on the far end of the garden where we started, and this is another beautiful Ruth Stout bed. Absolutely no weeds, no thistle, no anything, no borage, nothing. But you're going to see it all growing in the pathway, and zucchini plants thriving. Okay, coming on, knocking down a spider web on our way. This is my pepper bed, and okay, one little grass weed, probably because the corner of a cardboard was up right there. but no weeds at all. But yet weeds all in the path. And then lastly, so here's another area where I chopped and dropped. Lastly, the front bed was strawberries, holy basil, and cucumbers. And this is my path. My plan for the day is I have a tool. I'm going to show you my tool. And this is it, a rice knife. I've chopped and dropped on much smaller scale, kind of like I showed you guys with the onions. I often would do it around my tomatoes in the past, and then the weed mulch is kind of just mulch around the plants. But clearly it's working to smother things. I'm going to chop and drop everything that doesn't have flower seed head on it. If it has a flower seed head on it, I'm just going to toss it over the fence. So that's my plan of action for today. We're at least going to get the pathways done. I don't think I'm going to get that sunflower bed done. But I'm going to, I guess, show you a little bit of that, not the whole thing, okay? But I think that's a really, really good story for me. So it works phenomenal on smothering creeping Charlie, grass weeds, all that kind of nonsense. It's struggling to keep up a little bit with the thistle, but it's not thistle like I had the last 2 years. So I think what I need to just do is have hay on standby that I can smother that more. And I'm probably going to just go to a, I don't know, maybe we'll wood chip the paths in the fall. I was wondering to myself, am I just going to do like a chop and drop always in the paths, or go to like lawn mowing my paths? I don't know what I'm going to do. But it needs to be simple and easy. Okay, that's it. Okay, y'all, I am pouring with sweat, and that's another of one of the reasons I was like, that sounded pretty lame, but it's been so oddly hot here in Southeast Michigan. So I got this whole row chopped and dropped. That's like the entrance row, this back row by the potatoes. And I think I'm just gonna keep experimenting with this thistle this year. So what I did was I chopped it and tried to smother it where it was in place with the thistle leaves themselves. And thistle is a phenomenal natural fertilizer for the garden. So if that works, that would be great, but I'm not hopeful, but I'm gonna try it. But look how thick some of this stuff is here. Just really thick. I haven't done any of the pathways. And then I wanted to point out something that I noticed. So I got to do this pathway, and then it's basically just half the front that's really bad. This is the corner where the mother thistle started. So I need to get all that thistle smothered, whether it's cutting all that out or chop and dropping it, and then cardboard and wood chips over it. I know smothering is appearing to work because this back bed was all thistle basically. And you know, I cut out maybe 15 or 20, but that's nothing compared to what it was. What I noticed, I wanted to tell you guys, is this half of the carrot bed I really need to get in here and take care of. There's so much seedweed and that blue stuff there. So whether or not I like properly weed it, or I just get in there and pull all the things that I know are going to be like crazily invasive. But isn't my dill beautiful? I need to get out here and harvest that. And I wanted to say, you know, I felt convicted myself as I was sitting here weeding that gardens really aren't meant to be planted and walked away from. We're supposed to tend them and take care of them. It's not growing in a natural environment. It doesn't like its native or its unnatural world, so we have to take care of it. And what do I mean by that? I mean, like, cucumbers aren't perennials here. I'm not going to go out in the backyard and pick a cucumber. Tomatoes aren't perennials here. They don't grow here natively. This isn't home to them. So in order for me to get things to grow that this isn't home to them, unlike my blueberries and strawberries and rhubarb that you don't have to do anything to, I have to be a good gardener. I really need to at least get out here once a week and make sure everybody's okay and do they need anything. And this year's really just all about recovery for me in the garden, recovering the soil and recovering my garden beds. So I think we're making great progress on that. I mean, guys, look, like, this is phenomenal. I don't know what else, if anything, we're gonna get into today, but whatever it is, I hope you guys are having a blessed day. Bye, guys.